There's a moment every used luxury car buyer remembers. You've just driven it home. It smells like leather. The seats hug you like you've paid first class. The engine hums. And for the first week, maybe two, you feel like you've beaten the system. You bought a 70,000-pound car for 20. You're a genius. And then the dashboard lights up. Not a single warning, not one. 3, 4, 5. A cascade of amber and red that turns your stomach cold. You pull over, you Google the code, and the first result says 2,800 minimum, dealer only. And that's just the first one, because what nobody told you, what no dealer, no YouTube reviewer, no mate at the pub ever mentioned, is that used luxury cars don't just break. They break in ways that are specifically, almost surgically, designed to empty your bank account. Today, we're going through 7 real repair bills that have financially destroyed used luxury car owners. Not hypothetical, not worst case, real invoices, real numbers, real people who thought they were getting a bargain and ended up financing a catastrophe. If you're new here, welcome to Dusty's Dirty Deals, the only channel that tears apart the lies the car industry doesn't want you to hear. No sponsors, no dealerships, no brand loyalty, just 25 years of grease under these fingernails. And the truth. Hit subscribe, tap that bell, and let's get into the 7 bills that break people. Let me start with the one that hits first, the one that catches people within the first year of ownership because it's already failing when you buy the car. You just can't see it yet. Bill number 1, air suspension failure. This is the signature luxury car money pit. If your used Range Rover, Mercedes S-Class, BMW 7 Series, or Audi A8 rides on air suspension, you are sitting on a ticking financial bomb. The system uses rubber air springs filled with pressurized air controlled by a compressor, a valve block, height sensors, and a central module. When it works, it's magic. The car glides. When it fails, the car drops to the ground on one corner like a broken shopping trolley. Here's the bill. A single air spring replacement on a Range Rover Sport, 800 to 1,200 pounds per corner. The compressor, another 700 to 1,000. Valve block, 500. Labor, 3 to 5 hours at dealer rates. Total bill for a full air suspension rebuild, 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. I've seen invoices hit 7. That's not a repair. That's a second car. And the worst part? It almost always fails between year 5 and year 8, exactly when the second or third owner picks it up thinking they've found a bargain. The rubber degrades with age, not mileage. It cracks from heat cycles, UV exposure, and road salt. A garage car with 30,000 miles can fail faster than a motorway cruiser with 90,000. The mileage means nothing. The age is everything. Bill number 2, automatic gearbox failure. This is the one that turns strong men pale. Because when an automatic gearbox fails on a luxury car, the numbers are obscene. The ZF8HP 8-speed automatic is one of the most common gearboxes in the premium market. It's fitted to BMWs, Jaguars, Land Rovers, Maseratis, Rolls-Royces, Aston Martins. It's a brilliant piece of engineering when it's serviced. But here's the problem. Many manufacturers told buyers the gearbox was sealed for life, that it never needed a fluid change. That's a lie, a dangerous, expensive lie. Sealed for life means sealed for the life of the warranty, 3 years. After that, the fluid degrades, the torque converter clutch wears, metal particles accumulate, and by year 7 or 8, the gearbox starts slipping, jerking, or refusing to engage reverse. The repair. A full ZF 8 HP rebuild at a specialist runs between 2,500 and 4,000 pounds. A complete replacement with a reconditioned unit, 5,000 to 7,000. Dealer price for a brand new gearbox, 8,000 to 12,000, 12,000 pounds for one component. On a car you bought for 15. And here's the kicker. On newer BMW models, even after you replace the gearbox, the car won't accept it until a dealer technician logs into BMW's server and authorizes the new unit through cloud software. So you pay for the part, you pay for the labor, and then you pay the dealer another 300 to 500 just to tell the car it's allowed to work. That's not engineering, that's extortion. Bill number 3, electrical system meltdown. Modern luxury cars have more wiring than a commercial aircraft. A Mercedes S-Class has over 3 miles of copper wiring running through it. 3 miles. And every single millimeter of that wiring is wrapped in insulation that degrades over time. When the wiring loom starts to fail, the symptoms are maddening. Random warning lights, phantom faults that appear and disappear, windows that open themselves at 3 in the morning, a seat heater that turns on in August, an infotainment system that reboots every time you indicate left. I had a client bring me a 2016 Jaguar XJ, beautiful car, 60,000 miles. He'd had it 6 months. The boot wouldn't open. The rear camera was dead. The parking sensors beeped constantly, and the adaptive headlights aimed themselves at the treetops. 4 separate faults, 4 separate systems, but one root cause, a corroded junction box under the rear seat that had been silently rotting for 8 years. The bill, the junction box itself, was 400 pounds, but the diagnostic time to find it, 6 hours. The labor to strip the interior, replace the box, and recode every connected module, another 8 hours. Total invoice, 2,800 pounds for a connector box the size of a hardback book. And this is the insidious thing about electrical failures. They're invisible until they're catastrophic. You can't see corrosion inside a sealed connector. You can't hear a capacitor dying. You can't smell a relay that's overheating inside a dashboard you can't access without removing 14 trim panels. Bill number 4, turbocharger replacement. Almost every used luxury car on the market today is turbocharged. The days of naturally aspirated straight sixes are over, and turbochargers are fantastic when they work, but when they fail, the bill is staggering. A single turbo replacement on a BMW 335i or 535i runs between 1,500 and 2,500 pounds. But here's where it gets truly painful. A lot of modern luxury engines are twin turbo, 2 turbos. And if one fails from oil starvation or bearing wear, the second one is usually right behind it. Twin turbo replacement on a BMW N63 V8, the engine that powers the 5 Series, 7 Series, X5, and X6, 3,500 to 5,000 pounds. On a Range Rover Sport with the 3.0 V6 diesel twin turbo setup, similar story, 3 to 4,000. And that doesn't include the ancillary damage. When a turbo fails catastrophically, it can send metal fragments into the intercooler the intake manifold, and even the cylinders. Now you're not replacing a turbo, you're rebuilding an engine. I've seen a single turbo failure cascade into a 12,000-pound repair bill. The owner had bought the car for $14,000. Think about that. The repair cost was 85% of the car's purchase price. Bill number 5, adaptive headlight module failure. This one catches people off guard because it sounds small. It's just a headlight, right? Wrong. Modern luxury car headlights aren't bulbs in a housing. They're complete electronic modules with adaptive beam control, matrix LED arrays, laser elements, automatic high beam assist, cornering lights, and integrated daytime running lights. Each headlight is essentially a small computer with optics attached. When the adaptive module fails, and it does usually between year 6 and year 10, you can't just replace a bulb. You replace the entire headlight assembly, a single headlight unit on a BMW 7 Series G11, 2,000 to 3,000 pounds per side. An Audi A8 with matrix LED, 2,200, a Mercedes S-Class with multi-beam LED, up to 3,500 for a single headlight. And both sides typically fail within a year of each other because they've experienced identical thermal stress. So double it. That's 4,000 to 7,000 pounds because your headlights aged out. There's no aftermarket alternative. There's no repair. The entire sealed unit gets replaced, coded to the car via dealer software, and you move on. Significantly poorer and slightly wiser. Bill number 6, PHEV and EV battery degradation. The hybrid and electric luxury car market is growing fast, and people are buying used Porsche Cayenne e-hybrids, BMW i4s, Mercedes EQC, and Range Rover P400e models, thinking they're saving money on fuel. And they are, until the battery pack needs attention. A replacement hybrid battery for a Porsche Cayenne e-hybrid costs between 8,000 and 12,000 pounds. The car itself, worth 15,000 to 18,000 used. So you're spending 50 to 70% of the car's value on a single component that sits under the floor and that you never see, never touch, and never think about until it fails. And it's not just full failure. Battery degradation is gradual. You lose range. You lose efficiency. The electric-only mode that was supposed to cover your daily commute shrinks from 30 miles to 18, then to 12, then to nothing. And the onboard computer compensates by running the petrol engine harder, which wears the combustion side faster, which creates a second set of problems on top of the first. The battery management system, the BMS, is the brain of the pack. If it develops a fault, the car can refuse to charge, limit power output, or throw the drivetrain into limp mode. A BMS replacement isn't a part swap job. It requires specialist equipment, manufacturer-level diagnostic access, and sometimes a physical trip to the dealership for cloud-based recalibration. Bill, $1,500 to $3,000 on top of whatever the battery itself costs. And here's the final twist. If the manufacturer discontinues the model or ends software support, which has already happened with several first-generation luxury PHEVs, there may be no fix at any price. The car becomes an unsupported orphan, a beautiful, silent financial sinkhole. Bill number 7, Panoramic sunroof mechanism failure. It sounds trivial. It's not. The panoramic glass roof on a Range Rover Evoque, a BMW X5, a Mercedes GLC, or an Audi Q5 is a mechanical assembly with electric motors, guide rails, drainage channels, seals, and a tilt mechanism. It's also one of the most failure-prone systems on any modern luxury car. When the mechanism jams, the glass can get stuck open in the rain, on the motorway, at midnight. When the drainage channels block, water pours directly into the headliner, soaking the electronics module above the driver's head, the interior light wiring, and sometimes the airbag sensors. I've seen water damage from a blocked sunroof drain destroy an entire headliner module, both front seat heater controls and the overhead SOS emergency system. The glass panel itself, if it cracks or shatters, and they do from thermal stress or stone chips, the replacement is a dealer-only job. The glass is bonded and sealed to the roof structure. A panoramic roof glass replacement on a Range Rover Evoque, $1,800 to $2,500. On a BMW X5, similar. Add in water damage remediation if the drains were blocked and water got into the electrics. You're looking at $3,000 to $5,000 total for a sunroof, a hole in the roof that you opened maybe 6 times a year. So there they are, 7 bills, 7 ways a used luxury car will quietly, systematically drain your finances until there's nothing left but a beautiful shell sitting on your driveway and a credit card statement that makes you feel physically sick. Let me add them up for you. Air suspension, $6,000. Gearbox, $7,000. Electrical meltdown, $3,000. Twin turbo, $5,000. Headlights, $6,000. Battery, $10,000. Sunroof, $3,000. Total potential exposure, 40,000 pounds. On a car you bought for 20. That's not a car, that's a mortgage. But here's the thing, and I mean this genuinely, I'm not trying to scare you away from these cars. I love these cars. I've spent my entire life working on them. What I'm trying to do is make sure you walk into that dealership with a spreadsheet, not a dream. Get the inspection, check the service history, budget for the worst. And if the numbers still work, then buy it. Buy the V8. Buy the leather. Buy the badge. Just make sure you can afford the truth behind it. If this video saved you money, or if it came too late and you've already lived one of these bills, hit like. That button tells YouTube to show this to more people who need to hear it before they learn the hard way. Subscribe to Dusty's Dirty Deals. We're here every week with the repair truth nobody else will tell you. And leave me a comment. Which of these 7 bills hit you the hardest? Which one have you lived through? I want to hear your stories. The worse, the better. Now, next week, we're looking at something different. There's a car that costs under 5,000 pounds, runs for 200,000 miles without blinking, and dealers actively try to talk you out of buying it. Why? Because it never comes back for repairs. It never generates service revenue. It's the car the industry doesn't want you to know about. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is.